You've been instructed to be polite, to ask, to wait for a sign, to ensure she's comfortable. And though the intention is good, the impact is catastrophic, because women don't yield to the man who petitions for intimacy. They yield to the man who produces it. She doesn't wish to be persuaded. She wishes to be guided. She wishes for a man whose presence is like gravity, not pressure, not pleading, merely inevitability. As soon as you comprehend this, you'll never have to ask her for anything else, because she'll give it all to you, willingly, breathlessly, desperately. This isn't a tactic, it's a psychological epiphany. 1. You don't ask for intimacy, you rouse it. When you ask for it, you've already surrendered your power. Not that it's wrong to want her, but requiring her permission to move forward makes her body say no, even if her heart wished to say yes. Here's the secret no one teaches you. You don't invite a woman into intimacy. You build a space where her resistance suffocates naturally. Let's be clear, this isn't about manipulation, it's about leadership. It's about getting her to actually feel so safe, so seen, so subtly owned, that her body grants you permission before her words do. You want to touch her? Don't begin with your hands. Begin with the space around her. Begin with the air you create between your energy and hers. Because women don't say yes when they're asked. They say yes when they're moved. And the man who knows this doesn't use language like a request. He uses it like an invitation laced with danger. He says things like, I don't want to rush this. I want to see if your energy matches mine. Or, I enjoy the way you look at me when you're trying not to let it show. Notice the difference? He doesn't beg, he arouses tension. He makes her feel like intimacy has already begun quietly under the surface. And all she has to do is give in. This is the essence of the psychological trick. You don't ask with your lips. You ask with your presence. You draw her into a decision she's already made emotionally. In the real world, it looks like this. You hold her gaze a fraction longer than needed. You drop your voice, not to be sexy, but to slow her brain down. You touch her with purpose, one hand on her lower spine, not two. You lean back, not in, because the man in control doesn't pursue, he draws. Every move you make says, I'm not waiting for permission, I'm waiting for alignment. If she feels comfortable, she'll approach. If not, she won't. But either way, you didn't ask, you led. And when you're unbothered by her no, that's when her maybe becomes curiosity. Because now you're not a man who needs her to say yes. You're a man who attracts yes easily. That's what makes her feel like giving herself to you is her idea. That's not a trick, that's stoic seduction, and it never fails. The trick is making her believe it's her idea. You want her to want you? Stop trying to persuade her. Become the man who knows one primal fact. Women don't give in to pressure, they give in to permission. And the only man they give in to is the one who makes them feel like the idea wasn't his. It was theirs the whole time. You don't move in because you're permitted. You move in because the space between you is already dense with yes. She wants to feel like her need consumed her, like she couldn't help it, like she crossed the line, not you. Because when it feels like it was her conception, there's no shame, no guilt, no defense, only liberty. And liberty is the door to her rawest expression. The typical man approaches intimacy by establishing rapport, flattering, signaling interest, then asking, "Can I kiss you? Do you want to come over? Do you like this?" The moment he does, he triggers logic. She calculates, weighs implications, decides whether she should. But a woman doesn't fall into intimacy by logic. She falls when her feelings rush ahead of thought, when she catches herself getting closer and isn't sure why, when your voice makes her lose track of time, when your silence makes her tense in a way she secretly craves. The man who gets this doesn't force, he pulls without pulling. He notices her breath catching mid-sentence. He reads her pauses, not to respond, but to deepen the moment. He doesn't say, "I want you." He says, "I like the way you look when you're holding something back." Now she's spiraling. Now she's wondering, what does he see in me that I didn't reveal? Why does it feel like I'm the one pursuing? Because you flipped the script. You didn't just touch her flesh, you touched her ego. And women crave that kind of exposure because it's rare, and what's rare gets wanted. When she feels like she started it, lost control, made the first move, even subtly, that memory burns in her. She'll replay it because it lets her feel two things at once: powerful and overwhelmed, in control and wanting more. That's the sweet spot. So what do? You pace your words. You leave curiosity gaps. You let silence hum between you like electricity. You don't say, "Come over." You say, "I was going to spend tonight alone," unless that changes. You don't say, "I want you." You say, "You're distracting as hell." You drop breadcrumbs, and she follows. Not because she has to, but because she needs to see where they lead. The goal isn't to get her to say yes, it's to make her feel like not saying yes would haunt her. That's what stays with her. That's what drives her wild. You gave her the fantasy of freedom and the illusion of control. And she gave herself to you like it was the most natural decision in the world. Understand this. Women aren't waiting for permission to surrender. They're waiting for a man who knows how to keep that surrender once it's given. The slow-talking man, deliberate and certain, becomes a safe container for her chaos. Safety doesn't mean softness, it means certainty. He's not wondering, should I kiss her? He's reading her, feeling the current, and when it's there, he doesn't ask. He moves slowly, calmly, with presence, and lets her response tell him everything. Because a woman doesn't need you to ask if she's ready. She needs to feel that you are. When you lead, she gets to let go. She gets to stop calculating, stop protecting, stop performing. That's when her femininity takes over. That's when she begins reaching for you. That's when she gives you everything, not from pressure, but from feeling chosen. What women crave isn't pleasure or performance, it's relief. And the man who gives her that relief is the one who leads, who doesn't ask, "Is this okay?" but says with his stillness, "This is yours when you're ready." And when she is, she won't hesitate, won't hide, won't forget. Because real intimacy isn't asked for, it's made. And the man who makes it owns her memory forever. She doesn't need to be negotiated into yes. She needs to be moved into it. If you're becoming the man who replaces pressure with presence, say it with me. I don't ask, I attract.